Okay, today I'm gonna get a little bit vulnerable. I'm gonna show you a pitch that I did and sent off for a competition with Monkeypaw. Didn't get chosen, but I think there's a lesson to be learned in there somewhere. So let's get to it. If you follow me anywhere on social media, you know that I'm a big preacher of practice. Allen Iverson, we talk about practice. So today I'm going to show you a pitch that I did because I've been practicing my pitches. This was a pitch for the competition from No Drama and Monkeypaw. They wanted something supernatural in that realm, and I came up with the idea of this short film called You Have My Permission. We're going to go through it. I'm going to break it down. It's a short pitch. It's about 3 minutes long, and we're just going to go through it. I'm not going to lie, it's tough. It's tough to show this. Like, I know I did okay, but no one has ever seen this outside of that competition, so exclusive. Let's see. All right, here we go. Let me tell you about this movie idea I just came up with. You're going to love it. Come here right quick. Let me tell you. So first thing is I did the Guy Jordan's thing. Come here right quick. Let me tell you. I don't know why I did that. It was just like, whatever. But you can see that I made a nice little setup in my living room. Did the plants, as you can see. I love the plants, plant daddy. You know what I'm talking about. And this artwork in the back, that's actually my son. He made that. So I felt like this was a pretty good setup. I like it. I think I look fine in it. Centered, the framing's good. I actually had notes on my laptop. So I think that was pretty good. So starting off fine. Stars a young teenager by the name of Sanaya Rush. She has a bit of emotional anger issues. She does get bullied, and she has a secret. This girl has a 10,000-year-old ancient monster attached to her. Having a 10,000-year-old ancient monster attached to you, that sounds pretty interesting to me. Like, I thought it was pretty cool. So as you can see here, we're getting into it. I'm explaining the character, letting you know what the world is, kind of setting the rules, setting the tone, and that kind of stuff. Now, these monsters come every few thousand years, and it just so happened that she got one. That monster is invisible to everybody else until it wants to be seen. I thought that was a really cool idea, that there is an entity that follows you around that is invisible to everyone else. You know it's there, but it just will not appear to anyone else until it wants to, basically. But that monster is directly attached to her emotions. So if she's happy, then the monster's happy. If she's angry, now she's got a big 20-foot goon ready to go. We still doing good right here. Like, I feel like this is good. And let me know in the comments if this is like trash and I'm just feeling myself too much, but I still think I'm doing all right here. That's this monster. But here's the rule. That monster can only act if she allows him to. First day of school, she's been bullied in the past, and she's learned to control the monster a bit, so she says no a lot, which has people deeming her as the no. So here's my first thing. I don't know if I should have used the curse word here in a pitch. Is that professional or not professional? I feel like as a creative, like, those are words we use to express ourselves. So I think it was fine. I think it was, it's kind of how, I just normally speak. I don't use a lot of curse words, but here and there, you say a curse word. So I think it was fine, but I don't know. Could that have been frowned upon? Let's see. I don't know. They don't know. She's saying no because this got a big behind her. And I say in the nicest way possible. This is just for theatrics, right? See, I explain it. I'm a good guy. I don't use that word all the time. It's for theatrics. You know what I'm talking about? She's got this big ass monster behind her she's trying to keep at bay. So now in this film, she has to navigate her high school life and keep her emotions intact. But what about at home? Well, she is a product of a blended family. She has 2 dads, but not in that way. I thought it was a really good idea to have a show where there's a blended family and there's 2 dads, and the dads actually get along with each other. It's not like they're in some sort of competition, especially from a black family. There's no baby daddy, baby mama drama. It's just a blended family. This didn't work out at this time in our life. We've moved on. We still have this kid to raise. And yes, your new husband, boyfriend, he's a cool dude. He helps take care of the kids. Blended family. I love it. The mother was married to her father, but they got divorced. She got married again, so now she has two dads. Her biological father is the one who carries the bloodline of this monster that's attached to her. And he knows, but he worries about her learning to control it. So the whole thing is about Sanaya learning to control this monster and not allowing it to take over, or not allowing her emotions to take over, and then in turn do damage with this 10,000-year-old monster that is either an alien or a god or an ancestor. Who knows? But that thing, that entity attached to her, can really do some damage. So she has to learn how to control her emotions, and further on into the story, use it for good. So she wants to go and watch the basketball game with her friend Ava, and she decides to ask her mom, can she go and walk? Mom says, yes, take your sister with you. Stepdad, fish out of water. Yo, what do you mean? It's getting late. We're not in the best part of the neighborhood. Actually, sometimes I see that the stepdad, the second dad, dad number two, I kind of see him as being a white person. I kind of feel like he's like a Jason Bateman type character. I don't really know if I want the girls walking like that. Eventually, he's outvoted because the other two know, they let him go. On that trip, three goons hop out the van and basically try to take these young ladies to be sex trafficked. Now you see we got some action starting to happen, and we're wondering what's going to happen. Uh-oh, we know that she has this monster connected to her, but no one else knows. So how is she going to handle this? How is she going to control her emotions? What's she going to do? She is trying to protect her baby sister, and she's yelling no. But it gets to a point where she says, wait, you have my permission. Now this monster finally appears. He comes out of nowhere. It's the title, You Have My Permission. I feel like every movie somewhere has to say the title somewhere. Sometimes I'm like, nah, don't do it. And then sometimes I'm like, yeah, makes sense. Except for the Equalizer TV show. I heard a line where they said, yo, I need something equalized. Bruh. Grows gigantic, lifts her up. He makes light work of these guys, obviously, and that's the end of the short. What I love about this film is the expansive possibilities of it. So I feel like this short film could go and become a series. It could grow into a bigger world. It could become a trilogy. She starts to find out how to use the monster more effectively. She finds out there are others like her. The government tries to take over, weaponize her, or whatever. There's so many ways that this story could go. And I really think that, you know, this could be something really good for us. This is a young female protagonist who basically becomes a superhero when she finds out this monster is attached to her, right? I also love that it's based in Afrofuturistic metaphysics, right? So it's like Solange becoming a superhero. Could you imagine like Solange being a superhero? That'd be dope. And, you know, if she had this monster, she would have definitely crashed. Never mind. I think this film is very important, especially with the fascination of Black trauma. This is not that. I am so over Black trauma. So over it. I feel like those are a lot of our shows that are getting greenlit, and a lot of our positive shows aren't. Now, there is a place for Black trauma, obviously, but I don't think that it has to be every story. I don't think that it needs to be thrown in our face all the time. Like, let's show some positive stuff. Let's show some sci-fi and, you know, horror that is just that. It's not racial. It's not based off of Black trauma. It's just a good story. This is Black power. This is bringing our Afrocentric side, our Afrofuturism, everything out in the forefront in this young lady, Sanaya Rush. Hopefully you like my pitch, and hopefully we can make this short film happen. And you never know, we might make this into a full film or maybe a series. Thank you. Talk soon. That's it. That was the pitch. Now, how do you feel about that pitch? I think that it was okay. I feel like I could have maybe added a little more information to it. If I was in a room with them and they were able to ask questions, then I would have been able to go a little bit deeper into the story. I actually had the research and kind of understood my characters and whatnot. I did put this together on a bit of a quick timeline because the deadline was coming up and somebody told me about it pretty late. But since then, I've actually fleshed it out a lot more. And, you know, if it doesn't get picked up by somebody, maybe I'll make it myself one day. Who knows? I do want to give you guys 5 tips on how I create pitches and the things that I think about. The first thing I think about is you have to know your audience. So for me, I know that Monkeypaw is deep in black sci-fi kind of world. They haven't done too much that was, with the kids and kind of bubbly and superhero, but I felt like this would be an opportunity to bring that to the program. Maybe I misread the room on that one a little bit. Maybe that's why I didn't get chosen, but we'll have to wait and see. The winners were chosen. We'll see what kind of films they come up with, but know your audience. That's number 1. Number 2, you want to tell a story. People remember your story, not the stats. I feel like I did a good job with telling how this story would flow throughout the day and not giving too much stats. Actually, I didn't give any stats. I had 3 minutes to complete this pitch, so I didn't have time for stats. If we were in the room and they were allowed to ask questions, then we can go over stats. But when we're doing a verbal, quick elevator pitch, give them story, let them fall in love with what you have going on in the flow of your story. Number 3, show passion. Let it go. You can't be too cool. I tell my son as he was growing up playing basketball, you cannot be too cool to get out there and get on the floor and get after it. Sometimes you got to dive on the floor. Sometimes you got to jump on the table. Sometimes you got to raise your voice. Sometimes you got to cuss. It just helps people feel the passion that you have for the project. And that's what I want to come across anytime I pitch. I would think that I did it there. Maybe I needed to crank it up a little bit. This is good because it gives me an opportunity to reflect and see how I did and critique myself and see how I can do better in the future with my upcoming pitches. Number 4, you want to be concise. You want to get right to the point. You don't want to give too much filler. You want to give them the information, keep them hooked, keep them going. It's just like YouTube, right? Like people don't want too much filler. You got to give them a little bit here and there where it needs to be, but for the most part, keep it going. Be concise, be straight to the point. And last but certainly not least, number 5, have a clear call to action. Now for this project, it was clear we were all pitching for a contest, so I didn't have to state my call to action at the end. They knew what it was for. I was submitting to be chosen for the program. If I was sending this out to anyone else, I would want to let them know, hey, I have a script already done. We're just looking for funding. I need someone to help me complete the script, but the idea and the outline is there. You want to let them know right up front what you're looking for from them, and then from there, the negotiations can start. And that's it for today. Hopefully you got some value out of this video. If you did, let me know down in the comments below, drop me a like. And actually, I'd like to do something. I'd like to start to see people do more pitch videos and post their pitch videos. So if you're down for that and you have one, hit me up on Instagram or Threads, let me know, and maybe I'll come on here and we'll break it down, do a little critique session, you know what I mean? So until the next time, thank you for watching. Peace.
We got it next. That's how you finesse. We come for they next. We come to collect. Did it all on my own, yeah. When it brought it back home.